everyone's favorite pogoer is now an RLCS main event Mina player. I say main event, I don't know if the Rocket League Championship Series is using main events or anything like that anymore for the second weekend. They're calling everything an open qualifier, but what was previously called the regional, and it matched the fall split, where they would play 16 teams of Swiss into a single 8-team bracket, was called basically the main event. And if you made it, you were an RLCS player. And well, Dark and his team have made it. He's playing alongside Zone and Sicky's in a team called Zone. And this first game that we're going to be watching is from a lower bracket match that Dark and his team played in. Now, why are they in the lower bracket, you might ask? Well, they actually played a match against Rule 1, and we're going to look at a game of that to get an idea of maybe where Dark's team is in respective to Rule 1. I know a lot of people like watching Dark and maybe wonder why they don't see him, at the top of the game. That was actually a really nice pass from Zone and a sweet double from Dark. I actually think Zone is going to be the one to end up getting the credit on the goal as he dunks it in. But a solid setup for his squad. And from what I'm seeing so far, it's looking like their threes gameplay might be just as exciting as Dark's 1v1 gameplay as he wall dashes all the way around the corner to get a back wall demo. Winter's just going to cut him off on his infield shot. But I think everyone's going to be really excited. In a world in which maybe the Mina broadcast is coming back. I know I might have mentioned in previous YouTube videos that it seemed like there was going to be no Middle East broadcast at all, no regional broadcast, but Blast has recently announced that they are working on getting a way to watch those. I presume that means they're just bringing back the broadcasts, but they're just a little bit behind. Hard to say. Hopefully that'll be the case, and you guys will get a chance to watch Dark, or if not, maybe someone will be streaming Dark's run so that we can all watch it. But for now, you'll have the replay coverage coming from this YouTube channel as Dark will backflip out of the corner. I don't think that Dark has really been too close to top 16 before, although he's played in RLCS qualifiers, I think at least a couple times. But apparently a nice fully open bracket is just what he needed to bring it in. I think there's going to be a lot of teams. That's a nice double from this squad they're playing against, which is Serin. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly. This is 2 series away from qualifying. The teams need to win this series and the next series in order to make it in, and since I spoiled it, Dark's team did do it. That'll be in the bottom half of the top 16 starting next week on Thursday as Dark dashing his way onto offense, hoping that Zone could get something in front of the net for him, but because he was maybe a little bit greedy, his team is going to get countered, and that last back wasn't as sure as he needed to be. So now Dark's team playing from behind as he powers through the kickoff and is using all that same dashing that we're used to seeing and that same aggression too. We see Dark playing ones in a really aggressive fashion, and you have to imagine that he's going to be even more unleashed with 2 teammates to help him out in defense when they can. But the problem is you need to find the right chemistry with those players in order to make it work. As he rotates around and almost own goals, Zone actually kind of helped save what might have been a Dark touch as he 360 dashes his way around, recognizing he doesn't have boost. Winters is going to come try and be a pest, but Dark does avoid that pressure well and gets a touch on the ball. Actually surprised Dark maybe didn't pre-jump and try and get some redirection, but he instead plays off of Winter's touch, and we get a back corner boost steal. Sicky's just there in time to get that clear as Dark zap dashes his rotation back. He seems to be playing at maximum speed at all times. That should be no surprise. And, it's not something completely new to the free scene. When we saw Nupo and Mina, that's a great play. Dark just so speedy off the back wall. And he actually had both of his teammates out in front of the play to finish it off for him, assuming that he would win it. And that is definitely Dark's biggest strength. The fact that he can just get to challenges, get to the ball a lot faster than people are expecting, which baits people in to bad plays more often than they otherwise would. This is a freebie setup for Dark. He loves to see this situation. He'll go to the ceiling, wanted the double, but Winters does clean up the backboard. And now Dark likely on the full rotation back with 50 seconds left to go. Dark faking that he's headed up to the ceiling. Now he's just got Zone trying to clear out the net. They actually ended up putting it towards the left side of the net anyways. It does get covered. Now Dark from the back corner had to use 50 boost to get the setup. But this time around, he doesn't have to do it on his own. He could try and find a way to pass out, but nothing really works out. Winters actually bumps Dark. He has a recovery into the back corner 100. And now he'll bump Zone out of the way in order to make sure he makes a play on the ball. Maybe not a bad idea, as he now clears one of the back wall. Him and his teammate contesting for boost. Are we going to see overtime as Sikis tries to go on that left post before it gets sent away? Dark, one last opportunity at 0 seconds. Has the resets, but it does get sent to the ground. So it is going to be overtime in these RLCS qualifiers for Dark, as he allows his teammate to go to the kickoff and heads to the back right corner boost. Here's another time we can use his speed, rushing in an attempt to get a favorable challenge. Now swinging wide. If there's anything we know about Dark, is that he loves having his 100 boost, despite he's such a good dasher, you know, such a good player, it seems like, on 0 boost. He loves to have his dashes and 100 at all times. It's going to be a little bit less boost to come by in these 3v3 games. He can't create through the air outside the box. Everybody's got to be sweating when he has the ball. Another huge rotation back as Zone tries to hit a double. Dark is going to go for a reset off the back wall, and oh my goodness, look at this placement. In fact, this shot's worth watching again. This game winner is worth watching again, as he gets a reset, such a strong touch to the back wall. Reset touch, uses that flip to place it on the opposite corner of the net. Dark, filthy to win this game, and we're going to go check out a game between Zone and Rule 1. We are into the second game of this video. It's going to be Nupo, Ahmad, and Khaled, which are the new Rule 1 team. In case you haven't been watching closely, you may be thinking, wait, Rule 1? Where are the Twins? Where are Mawson? Well, Rule 1 is a new team now, as the Twins moved over to the Falcons alongside TRK, and Rule 1 picked up the Khaled and Ahmad duo and got Nupo as well, as his ban expires, and he can now play in the RLCS again. And Nupo is going for a nice double reset to open up the scoring in this game number 1. I wanted to watch from Nupo's perspective so we could see that shot, obviously, and maybe it gives away what happened in this series, but we kind of already did give away that Rule 1 did end up winning this best of 3. But I wanted to get a nice look into how these teams matched up, where Dark is at, because these are teams that will be facing each other. Khaled's actually popping off a little bit himself to get the second goal in the top 16. I mean, it might even be, you know, an early round matchup, considering Dark's team came through the lowers and Rule 1 made it all the way through uppers without dropping a series. Naturally, I think Mina will be a dogfight between Rule 1 and Falcons, alongside maybe 1 or 2 other Mina teams that are really going to be looking for good seeding, not in the qualifiers necessarily, but in the top 8 after each Swiss. So that Swiss is going to be very important. Going out of the Swiss 3-0 has never been a bigger deal than it was before, and these top teams in Mina have struggled in the fall stage before. They have, you know, lost a couple games and then had to make up for it later. They're not going to be able to get away with that in this new format. Khaled up to Nupo, as Nupo looks to make some stuff work. Great demo on the back wall, but Sikis has the save. Does not look like so far that Rule 1 is wildly outmatching Zone. They've had a couple really solid solo plays that have led to their 2 opportunities, or their 2 converted opportunities, as Nupo preps on the ceiling for Dark. Dark does not play the ball directly to him. Actually, great placement, good save by one of the best defenders in Mina, as Khaled cleans up the top left corner. Khaled challenged by Dark. That is where I imagine Dark will be his most effective. Nupo able to kill this 50 straight down, and Ahmad will clean it up. Nupo, he may as well be the MVP for Mina this season. I would actually say he's almost the favorite. It's between TRK, Rawas, and Nupo in terms of players you'd expect to come away with the Mina MVP. But maybe I'm crazy. I might have Nupo as the favorite. Nupo as the favorite, maybe Rawas as the next, and TRK as that third. I think the fact that Rawas and TRK playing on the same team sometimes hurts in terms of, chances to win those kind of awards, just because they steal a little bit of each other's shine, even if they do, end up being the top team. But certainly, if Rule 1 is the top team, then it will be Nupo who's getting those honors as he gets chased down by a team member of Zone. In fact, I think it might have been Zone himself, but he was irrelevant in the play. Zone was basically hoping that his team was going to get a breakout play and that demoing that last back would be valuable. Dark just barely couldn't get back to that double. Right now, his squad down 3 as Ahmad gets a big win in the midfield. Nupo, the placement is there. Dark in and out on the save. Dark, it seems like a lot of his strengths can shine in the 3v3 game mode. We haven't really watched him at all. We're so used to seeing him pogo. I don't think we're going to see him doing a ton of pogos here in 3s. But there's lots of more elements, and there's one right there as an early challenge. Takes the ball off Ahmad's car, but no follow-up. So Nupo sends it soaring back to his teammates, and now wants a dunk in front of the goal line. Can't get it. Ahmad good control to keep that ball out of the hands of Zone. But it might have been a scary counterattack situation had he not been able to quickly return possession back to Rule 1. Nupo left with no boost, pulls off the ball. It's away to just 50, and luckily he's got Ahmad around. I mentioned this in a previous YouTube video not so long ago, but this Rule 1 team has what are considered probably the 2 fastest Mina players, Ahmad from back in the day, Nupo now. I'm sure a lot of you would say that it's Dark as Nupo sets up, I believe it was Ahmad, for that finish as I talk about it. So maybe the 3 fastest. The 3 fastest in the game. I'm excited to see what Dark maybe has in store for RLCS. I think everybody who watches this YouTube channel seems to enjoy Dark and will certainly be excited to see if they can get any big wins, maybe steal something off of the top dogs. But it's not going to happen in the qualifiers, and it didn't happen in any of the next 2 games either, because Rule 1 clearly won this one, and they won the next 2. Rule 1 not dropping a ton of games. I think Mina will be dominated by those top 2 squads, but maybe, just maybe, Dark's team could get just something off of one of these guys, because really all it takes is to upset them in the Swiss before you're relevant and you're making waves. You can get yourself to a grand final if you don't have either of those teams on your side of the bracket. But they kept the ball up for a while. At 0 seconds, it will hit the ground. Dark, Ahmad, Nupo, are these guys the fastest 3 players in Mina? I'll leave that up to you.